Hello and welcome back to Serendipity Intended. My name is Tracy Ann and I am so glad that you are here today. It is still Junk Journal July and I was kind of dreading this prompt because I wasn't sure what to do, and then I was just basically surfing on Instagram and I saw an idea that was not related to the prompt, but it sparked something in me and now I'm super excited. So let's go ahead and jump in so I can explain what I'm talking about. So it is day 7, or excuse me, I'm sorry, not day 7, day 8. And today's prompt is emptiness. And I was, to be honest, a little bit, freaked out isn't the right word, but a little bit challenged because I really did not know what to do with that prompt. And I'd chosen this page to use for that prompt. And I had also, just because I really liked this flower image on this spread, I had sort of set aside this flower image and I really did not want to give up on the flower image. But I couldn't figure out how to make emptiness work. And then I had an idea. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create some negative space. So I have this paper and it's lined paper, but the lines are sort of a very similar color to what's here in the background. And the paper isn't a stark white. So just to kind of show you, this paper is white and there's just a little bit of difference. So this is just a little bit tinted. And I thought it would work here. So what I want to do is I want to create some space here. And I want to have about that much of a border. And so I'm going to be not very scientific in my process. I'm just going to kind of fold and tear. One of the things I am trying to do with this challenge is to be a little less worried about doing lots of techniques, so that I don't end up spending hours and hours and hours in this journal working on the prompts. Not because I don't want to, and not because I have school stuff to do because it's summer, but because it's summer and I have lots of other things that I want and need to do, not the least of which is straightening up this room that I'm in so that I have more than just this space to work on. Okay, so I'm going to place that there, and this is going to become my emptiness, my space that has nothing in it. Had I had a paper that didn't have any lines on it that was truly empty, I would have used that, but I don't have anything that is almost white that fits here, and I didn't want to do a bright white. So this is what I've got. So I'm gonna grab my handy dandy glue mat here and add some glue to my square. And then glue that down and center it. So this is my emptiness, my empty space. But that definitely looks unfinished. So what I want to do is I want to create a frame around this. So almost giving the illusion that this is a picture on a wall, but there's nothing inside of the frame, and so emptiness. And I do want it because I think I'm gonna add the flower here so I can still have it And I think that that flower there will underscore the fact that there's nothing inside of the frame. And then I'll still have some space to journal and a place to put my prompt. So I think this should work out fairly well. So I do, whenever I choose to match this, I grabbed some washi from my stash, and I'm literally just going to audition. Put this lid on really quick. I'm just going to audition the washi with what's already here to see what of this I like and don't like. Now this, I think, is just entirely too thin, but I do love the orange. I'm going to hang on to this because I might be able to use it somewhere else, or maybe on this page, so I'm definitely going to keep it out and on my desk. Let's see, how about the brown? I do like the brown, but it feels a little wide. That's a maybe. That is just totally the wrong thing. That's a no. This, I think, is too much. It conflicts with this. That's a no. Totally the wrong color. That's a no. Oh, I do like that. That's a maybe. I grabbed this because it's got some texture, but again, I'm not sure. I was thinking pink would be a great color, but I'm not liking the pink. This feels more orange and peach to me. I also grabbed this, which I kind of like, and I grabbed this, which I also kind of like. So I have 4 here that are possibilities, and then actually looking in my bowl, no, that one's too light. Okay, so I've got 4 here that could work. So I'm literally just gonna, because washi always looks a little bit different when you put it down. So I'm literally going to not tear this off, but put all of these washi down, and then decide which one I like the best with them in place. I've certainly auditioned things a lot. I've never tried this technique before. I'm kind of laughing at myself here a bit. Oh, of course this last one is gonna be stubborn. Okay. All right. So now, looking at this, I love the orange, but I feel like it's too light. It doesn't have enough emphasis. Again, I do like it with this spread. Oh, that was not well advised. So I'm gonna definitely hang on to it, keep it on my desk for, if not this spread, then maybe the journal, because I think the colors work. So these two both will stay for the journal. And I think this is boring. I don't like this as much as I thought that I would. So I'm gonna take this up as well. I like the tape, just not for this page. Okay, so that leaves me with either this one or this one. I really like the color of this, but I also feel like this one maybe adds a little bit more contrast to what's here in the middle. So here's what I think I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use this darker one for the frame. Oh, yikes. Peeling up the paper a bit. I'm gonna use the darker one for the frame, but I want to use this yellow as well, So what I'm gonna do, I think, is add, I'm gonna change the direction of this tear. And I'm going to add just a bit of this to the background so that it becomes another little bit of texture on the page, just a hint of that. And then maybe also just a bit, I do like the torn edge rather than the cut edge. Maybe just a bit here. And then I'll let it overlap onto this page a tad. I think that's kind of fun. And again, just to get the threes, I'm gonna add this other little bit of washi to this other side. We'll see if I end up using that, but that way it kind of connects the pages a little bit, one to the next. I sort of like that idea. Okay, and now I can use this washi to make a frame. All right, so I did 3 sides of this just because I didn't really think that you needed to see all of that, but I did want to show this last side just to share a little trick or tip for tearing the washi or getting the washi edge to be nice and straight. So once I've got my tape in position and I know where I want to tear it, I take a ruler, and I like this one because it's small and it's manageable, but I take a ruler and I tear along that ruler, and that gives me a nice straight edge. So now I've got my emptiness and I've got my flower. So there's a few more things I need to do. One is I've got this tape and it's left over, and I'm gonna go ahead and add it to this other side to cover up the staple that came through from this page. And I'm thinking, so patterns is what I'm gonna do on this page. So I'm thinking that I will use these washis as some of my patterns perhaps on this page, or maybe not, we'll see. So I think we've got a good emptiness going on here. I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit because this page is a little bit tinier. I do think I wanna trim away some of the white that is here so that I can see the background underneath. So again, I'm not gonna video doing that. I'm just gonna use my blade here to cut out those pieces. And once I do that, I will be back. So there, hopefully you can see how I left these openings here in this mat. So with the black mat behind it, so you could see these are the spots that I cut out. And I think this makes this, when you do that with an image, it makes it seem less like a printed image and a little bit more like an object on the page, because then it lets the page come through. And I think that that adds a lot of dimension to the page. All right, so there we are with that. And I'm gonna go ahead and glue this down. And I think just because it's going over the fold, I'm gonna use, rather than my Yoo-hoo, I think for this, I'm gonna go ahead and use my art glitter glue. I feel like it responds a little bit better to things flexing than the glue stick does. And I do definitely want to make sure that this stays attached, because with this being just day 8 in the challenge, I'm going to be turning past this page quite a bit, and I know it's going to get a lot of bending. The other advantage to putting this flower here and letting it overlap is I've got just a tiny bit of the original background paper showing through, which isn't terribly pretty or interesting. And so this also lets me hide that a bit. So make sure this is nicely into that fold before I glue down the other side. And then go ahead and fold it once to make sure that it's happy. All right, so that worked fairly well. I'm gonna take this back off because that is not now. So I'm starting to be very, very happy with this. I do want to do a little something to separate this print from the background. And so what I'm gonna grab, if I can find it. Oh, here it is my sketch and wash pencil. So it's a little bit like a charcoal pencil. And I'm just gonna sort of scribble a bit on some of the inside spots on this side of the image. Okay, so I'm just sort of scribbling. And then I'm gonna grab my water brush and get it activated. There we go, some water. And then I'm going to just go in and activate that pencil to create a little bit of shading. In here. Maybe go a little bit on this side as well, just to add a teeny tiny bit of depth. And put a little bit here too. Now, if any of you have been trained in art, I'm probably not doing this right. I'm really just putting it where I think it would look good, and calling it a day. A little bit more right there. There. So I like to do that. It just gives a teeny bit of shading and dimension. Okay, now what I am missing, of course, is my prompt of emptiness. And so I'm going to grab my Dymo, and it's day 8. And then just add the prompt. I hope that you are finding ways to feel good and excited about the work that you are doing in your journal, and giving yourself grace when maybe things don't turn out exactly the way that you hope that they would, because I do think that the most important thing is to have fun. And if things don't turn out exactly the way that you'd expected them to, just kind of letting that be. Now I got to figure out where to put this. I did want to leave this number here, but I don't like how close that is. I think this works a little better here. So I'm going to end up covering up that number. Sometimes when you do this, it leaves a little thing that you can hold on to pull the paper off. It did not this time. So I am here fighting with this on camera. There we go. And ahead and put that down and clear off my space. Oh no, now I'm getting dive bombed by washi. Okay, so that, I think, that does the trick. I've got my emptiness, I've got a page that kind of fits in the journal, and I've also got a little bit of a start on a page for later. So I'm super excited about that. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you found something to be inspired by, and I look forward to seeing you next time. And until then, make a great day.